we were fighting. And I was just a wreck. I'm just crying on the floor. And I remember he said, "It makes me angry when you cry." And I just started to close off more and more and more.
Real women, real marriage turnarounds. This is the Empowered Wife Podcast. My guest, B, never knew when she was going to set her husband off. There was no affection and lots of fighting. But she single-handedly rekindled the love, and now they're so connected, they're giggling together. She's going to tell us how she did it, so you can do it too. B, welcome to the Empowered Wife Podcast. So excited to have you here.
Oh, hi, Laura. Thank you so much for having me. This is an honor. It's a dream come true to be here, really, to be able to share my story of transformation and hopefully inspire a woman out there who's feeling as lost, stuck, and hopeless as I once was. And I'm here to help her remember her power.
Oh, wow. I love it. That is so clear. And it's exciting. It's exciting that that's what you're here to do. And it is a victory lap, right? Because this is a big accomplishment, what you've done in your relationship. But we want to hear all about it. So let's go back to the beginning, some sort of beginning. So what drew you to your husband?
Well, I was actually working at the coffee shop on the Mississippi River, and I was going in one night. It was a Thursday evening, open mic, and I was just going in to pick up my check. I opened the door, and there was a man standing on stage playing his original music. And I was just in shock of his existence. I immediately knew this was a very, very, very important person, but I could not handle his existence yet. I couldn't do it. So I remember running behind the espresso machine, maybe to block the magnetism between us or something. And I asked my coworker, I'm like, "Who is that?" And she's like, "How do you not know who that is? Come on." Apparently he was well known in the town, but I didn't know him. And so, like I said, I just wasn't ready for him. I was actually dating someone else at the time. We quickly broke up, but I just was like, I'm not ready for this man. And I ended up ignoring him for months. So I ended up getting on the schedule at the coffee shop every single Thursday. He would come in with his friends every Thursday. They'd sit down. I waited tables. I'd take everyone's order except his. Yes. And he would have to come up to the counter and he'd be like, "Can I get some water without ice?" And I'm like, "Yeah, your music's so beautiful." And he's like, "Yeah, music." And walked away. And that was it for months. And then we had this mutual friend who was going on tour the following day. And he was asking me to, go out with them that night. And I was like, "Oh, I think I'm going to stay home. I'm just tired from work." And I'm like, "Well, who's all going?" And he was really, kind of begging me to go. And I'm like, "Well, who's all going?" So he's rattling off names and he says my future husband's name. And I'm like, "Well, I guess I could go." So we ended up sitting next to each other and immediately, we were so connected. We just went into our own little world and found these amazing, just shared little peculiar quirks that we had. We were just laughing all night and just fell in love. And we ended up having to chase our friend through the town because the one that was going on tour, he got drunk and ran off into the town. So we were up to 5 a.m. just trying to find him. We never found him, but we had a great time nonetheless and started off with a big adventure. And I was so drawn to his sincerity. I mean, just walking in those doors and he's performing his original music, I was just like, wow, this is just such a beautiful soul. And then getting to know him, this man is just beautiful. And he had the kindest green eyes I'd ever seen. I remember just twirling, even before we even spoken, after just knowing he existed, I was wearing dresses and twirling around. And I remember hanging out with my one guy friend and he's like, "Can we talk?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Are you in love with me?" And I'm like, "No, God, no." He's like, "Okay, because you're just what's going on?" You're skipping around everywhere. It was amazing, the effect he had on me before we even spoke. And I'll never forget either. We were in his car one night, very early on in our romance. And I went to turn the radio up or something. And my hand, I'm just a very fast-paced person, very energetic, always have been. And my hand looked like it was moving through molasses. Like it was just like it was almost this like out of body experience to watch my hand move so slowly to the radio. Like his presence just like slows me down in the most beautiful way, grounds me. And he is just, like I said, he's just a beautiful person through and through. Oh, and I remember too, those days before I spoke to him and being at the open mic every week working, I just remember being like, I just want to sing. Like, all I want to do is sing with this man. And so looking back on our love story to think like, wow, I just wanted to sing with them, which I got to, but now we're married and we have 3 kids and look back and be like, that's my husband that I was just fawning over.
Oh, oh, it sounds amazing. It sounds like just like you were ridiculously happy to just know he existed even.
Completely.
Yeah. Oh, so how could anything ever go wrong, right, with this?
I know. It's so funny to go back to that story and then, whoop, the battle days. But it all started, like the battle days started whenever I was pregnant. And, well, let me back up a little bit. Our battle days came and they kind of hit in 2 waves. So the first one started when I was pregnant and I got very controlling. I mean, it was what he ate, what he drank, what he wore. He would buy Red Bull and I would just dump them out. And he's always had great style, but I'd be like, oh, you should wear cotton, not polyester. And just always trying to be helpful, right? Like I thought, this is the father of my child. I want him to be healthy. I want him to be well. I don't want him drinking Red Bull. And I thought I was being helpful, but I didn't realize I was just draining the life out of us. And so he works in the entertainment industry. So he had so many late nights out, partying, drinking. And I remember being home alone with the baby and the resentment in me just grew and grew and grew. Like I'm growing up, I'm taking care of this baby and you're out wild and free, having so much fun. And motherhood, I love being a mother. It's been such a beautiful experience in my life. And so I really just dove into that. I love when you say lots of women mother their husbands and honor their children. And that was so true for me. So, like I said, he was drinking a lot, the resentment grew, and then my respect for him, it just eroded over time to the point where I'm like, how could I respect you? Like, you don't behave in a respectable way. I was just judging his lifestyle so much and shaming him so much for it. And I remember him one time saying like, that his opinion doesn't matter. You don't care what I have to say. You value your brother's opinion more than I do. And it was true. And I was telling him, I'm like, yeah, I do. He's respectable. And if only I knew what I was saying at the time. If only I knew what, how much, yeah, I learned a lot. We'll put it that way. But, so all of this.
It's painful to be at home with the babies by yourself. Yeah, well,
it was.
He's not having a good time and it's exhausting.
It was exhausting. And yeah, the resentment just grew and grew and grew. And so all of this control and resentment and disrespect, we would have these fights, these blow up fights where he would just explode out of nowhere. I had no idea what happened. Like, where is this coming from? And our dynamic, I guess, our pattern was that he would explode. He'd say something super nasty and he'd leave the room. And then I'd be there like, how dare you? Like, how dare you say that? And then just leave me here. So I would follow him. I would, he was trying to sing now. He was trying to get some space, but I would not allow it for a second. I'd follow him. I'd chase him. I'd be like, fix this, like I'm sitting here hurting, like, fix this. You did this, fix it. And I mean, he'd even say like, I backed him into a corner, which I honestly did. I would follow him room to room to room after we would fight or what, and the fights would just escalate. Whew. And, one time I remember he would just ask me like, leave me alone. And I didn't. And there was one day where I was standing in the doorway chase him and trying to like, yeah, I was just going after him. And he ended up not hard, but he pushed me out of the doorway. And at this moment, I was like, oh my God. Like I was just like, am I not safe? Like he pushed me. This, like we've had explosions. We've like we've called each other names, but like he pushed me out of the door. And I just
It's
that's when
physical
those
abuse. It's physical
what did
abuse right there,
oh
right?
yes. Yeah. I mean, that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, okay, I could take the words, I could take this, but and so I started questioning my safety. I'm like, are my kids safe? Is he physically abusive? Like what? I just I just I remember being so confused too, because like I said, this man has the kindest green eyes I've ever seen. He catches and releases bugs from our home. He's so tender with our children. Like at this point we had two kids and he was so there for me during the births. And I was always just so perplexed. Like, how is this happening? How is this him? Like, who is this monster? And like I said, I was just grappling with accepting that. I just couldn't accept it. And I also didn't know at the time that I was provoking him to morph, which luckily I ended up learning, but it took a little while. So,
Wow. Okay. So that when he shoved you out of the doorway, you're saying that's because you provoked him.
yes, I have learned that he responds to me. And I just painted myself as this like perfect person. Like he was the problem. I wasn't doing anything wrong. He's the one exploding. It's not me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
he opened it to the next level. Like I might say something and then he'd say something, like he'd cut a little deeper. And so I was never accountable ever. And then these fights would end and he'd apologize and it's not going to happen again. And lo and behold, it would happen again. But yeah,
Wow. It sounds really terrifying. If you don't know, you didn't know you were provoking. You were just trying to get your needs met. You were hurt. He set up a bomb and walked out of the room. It just sounds really scary to not know and then to question your safety and the safety of your children in that situation. So,
yeah.
yeah.
And then I started walking on eggshells because I didn't know when these explosions would happen. So I tiptoeing around and walking on eggshells and, trying to like keep things easy. And somehow I was still starting fights all the time.
Wow.
And I remember too, one night we were fighting and I was just a wreck. I'm just crying on the floor. And I remember he said, it makes me angry when you cry.
Oh, that's the worst. Now, you're crying because you're upset. You're sad. What does he want you to do? Never cry? Like, oh,
Ah, no, it hurt so much. But I think too, I used my tears as a weapon a lot. I used them. Yes, I would cry because it hurt, but I would also cry because like, I don't want to say necessarily to shame him, but like, I wanted to hurt him back.
yeah. Yeah. As a mere mortal woman, of course, when you're hurt. Yeah. You want him to hurt too.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I carried that quote around for so long that it makes me angry when you cry. And I just started to close off more and more and more.
Yeah. You can't be vulnerable. He hates that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've struggled with vulnerability for so long. I mean, that's not something that comes naturally to me. I'm already a bit of a closed book, so it takes a lot of courage for me to open up. And yeah, so I just started to close my heart off to him as time went on.
Wow.
Whew. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So it sounds heavy and hard. It's tiring, right?
exhausting. And
That's
then, I
how
mean,
start long if it's going to be like this, right?
yeah, yeah. And then, mothering on top of it and just trying to be a great mom and be present. And I mean, my marriage was just crumbling. I was crumbling and I had no idea how to fix it.
Were you trying anything to fix it? Did you
So,
surely you tried to drag him to marriage counseling at least? Right? Or did you? I don't know.
oh, well, we like after these fights would have our hours long talk in circles, try to figure it out. Let's make it like let's fix this. And we both be like, maybe we could use some marriage counseling. Like this is clearly we're not figuring this out just the two of us. Like we need help. So yeah, years went on where we said we needed marriage counseling, but it wasn't until a while later that we made the appointment. So our rock bottom moment hit when we were on our way home from an appointment with our baby, and he was driving, and an ambulance was coming from the other direction. And I said, "Hey, pull over. There's an ambulance." And he flipped, absolutely flipped. It was the straw that broke the camel's back. He's like, "I know to pull over for an ambulance. Like, do you want me to run into this effing pole?" Because he's like, "Do you want to pull over right now? There's a pole right here." And I was shocked. I'm like, "What are you? I'm just telling you to pull over for an ambulance. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything wrong." Or so I thought. And so he ended up pulling over. We just had it out. We just fought and fought and fought and drove back home. And I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I'm in my mind, I wasn't speaking that to him yet, but I'm like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, I'm telling him to pull over for an ambulance and he explodes. I was like, this is not okay. And now he said, should I run into this pole? Like, I'm definitely not safe. He didn't run into the pole. And so it was just so much more proof to my story that he was dangerous and unpredictable and unstable and not to be trusted.
Scary.
Yes, it
With the
was.
baby, with
And
your little baby in the car too.
with my baby. Yeah. Yeah. With my baby. Oh, so we got home and he had to go off to work. And our friends were actually in town. They had to evacuate from a hurricane where their house was. And they were here visiting. And my best friend, I hid this from everyone for so long. I'd never told a soul about any of our struggles. Like I said, struggled with vulnerability throughout my life. And my best friend was there at the house and I couldn't hide it. She's like, "What's the matter? What happened? Like, what's going on?" And she didn't like see any of it, but she picked up that I was not okay. And I just broke open to her and I told her everything. And I broke down and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I can't go on like this. This is not the life I imagined. This is not the marriage I want. And so they actually were planning to leave the next morning. So she's like, "You know what? Just come to our house. Just follow us down." They lived like 6 hours away. "Just follow us down. You can come stay with us." I was like, perfect. That's the easiest like out. Like, this is divine timing. I'm gone. So he was at work. I packed my bags, my children's bags, loaded up the car. We slept that night. And that morning we left.
Wow. And you were leaving him. This wasn't just
Yeah.
you going to a friend's house for a getaway. This was, I'm leaving you.
I'm leaving you. And because I had this idea that he was dangerous, I was like, oh, I can't tell him I'm leaving. That's going to set him off. Like, I'm in danger. So I was like, I just tried to I tried to trick him, honestly. I tried to trick him like, "Oh, we're just going to go for my friend's daughter's birthday and, we'll be back at some point." And yeah, because I didn't tell him we were like leaving. So we got to their house. I drove 6 hours with my two children in the back and,
With your heart pumping the whole time, probably like
got
adrenaline.
through the roof. I hardly slept that night. I just remember laying in bed the night before leaving, just sweating. Just like, I don't know, the adrenaline, the cortisol just pumping through my body. I just woke up like soaked, drenched, and like I hardly slept. But I was able to caravan. So her husband, her family, they were driving home. So I just stayed right behind them and we made it. We made it safely to their house. And I actually filed for divorce.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah. Stressful.
It was so
Unbelievable.
stressful.
So hard day. Awful day.
Oh, such a hard day. Such a hard day. And it's wild. I don't know if I'm fast forwarding too much, but my husband, he has since thanked me for leaving. He thanked,
Wow. Okay, I want
yeah.
to hear about that. But
Okay.
okay.
Yes. So that took a little time. So I was there, secretly filed for divorce. I was just trying to figure things out. He and I, we were like still talking, but my heart was just so hardened. I just hated him at this point. I just hated him.
Yeah.
I just, yeah. I, yeah. And I was so, like I said, I was so certain that he was the problem. I was like, this man has made my life a living hell. And that was my focus at the time. I would say it was just a roller coaster. It was like an 8-year long, 7-year, I don't know, roller coaster. Like the highs were high. We had great moments, great memories, so much fun, but the lows were so low. And I was just like, I need off this roller coaster. Like I didn't sign up for this ride. This isn't fun anymore.
Yeah.
I'm done. So yes. So like I said, secretly filed for divorce, and he and I were still, like keeping in touch a little bit, um, just here and there. I was just trying, like I said, I was trying to trick him. I didn't want him to know my plans, and ended up at my parents' house. So I stayed with my friends for a while, and then I ended up, going to my parents' house, which was it's just like 11 hours away from our home, and
So, and you have the kids, right? So you and the kids have been gone now for a while.
yes. Yes, I have the kids. They were, I want to say 5, 6, and 1 at that point. And I never told them that they never knew any of this. We were just on a fun trip. We were just going to see friends. And then we were going up to see their grandparents. Like it was just this fun trip. And daddy has to stay home because he's working. And they honestly, they've to this day, they have no clue about this story.
Wow. But your husband must have caught on at some point. Like he knew you were
Oh,
mad.
very quickly. I forgot to mention that whenever that morning that we were leaving, I went to tell him goodbye. He was still asleep. Like I said, he worked really late. And I woke him up to tell him, "Hey, we're just gonna take a trip. It's so and so's birthday, and we're just gonna go down there for her birthday." And he immediately knew that that was not true. And so I just like ran down the stairs because again, I thought this man was dangerous, and you never so I just ran down the stairs, got into my car, and I just remember him just like yelling, like he was just so mad, and like he knew, yeah, not trying to come after me. He let me go, but he was just obviously hurt.
Heartbreaking. Awful
So
moment.
it was, it was,
You scary for him. Yeah, everyone's heart's getting broken that morning. Yeah,
oh,
gosh, rough.
completely, completely. So at this point, I was up staying at my parents' house. It was around Halloween time, and he wanted to come trick or treating with the boys. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So he drives up 11 hours. We go trick or treating, and I mean, burning holes in the back of his head. I just hated this man. I'm like, I can't believe I'm trick or treating with this guy. Like, my heart, like I said, my heart was just so hardened to him. And it's like, I had to hate him, I think, to block any love that could seep through. Like I was just so sure that we were done. I had filed for divorce. Like I had that hatred was like me trying to like, yeah, like I said, block the love that has always been there.
Yeah, all that magnetism you felt the first time you saw him on stage, right? Like it's like you've got to block that out so that yeah, I get it.
Yeah, the hate was my espresso machine. I was just like, no.
Right. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I get it. Oh, but still, that's hard to do too. That's heavy.
Oh, it's so painful. And then of course putting on a brave face for the kids. Like
Oh,
children don't know. like we're having happy Halloween. We're trick-or-treating. Daddy's here.
The
It was,
candy. Yeah. 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 Right.
it was
Yeah.
fun.
Ooh.
So the next day he was up there just for the weekend and he wanted to go to the zoo as a family. And I said, okay, fine, I'll go. I didn't want to, but I went. And I texted my best friend that morning and I was just like, I'm dreading this. I don't want to go to the zoo. This is the one I opened up to about everything. She texted me back and she said, don't be afraid to give him a second chance. She's like, if I never gave
Right.
him a second chance, I don't know where we'd be. And I'm really glad that I have him.
Oh, that gives me chills. Wow. She stood
Yeah,
for your marriage. She stood for your marriage.
did. And I had this moment. At first, I was like, what? First, I was a little mad at her. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, this is the man we hate. And she's like, I should have told you I can't stay mad for long. And she's just such a beautiful person. And so that was the beginning of my heart softening. And I had this moment too where I'm like, wait, like she doesn't think he's a monster? Like I've told her everything and she thinks I should give him a second chance? Like maybe not, maybe everyone doesn't think he's as bad as I think he is.
So her perspective made it okay for you to not put him in the monster category. Like he could be shades of gray instead of
Yeah,
black or white.
uh,
Whew.
shades of gray. I love that. So, like I said, my heart softened a bit, and we get to the zoo that day, and he told me I was beautiful. My heart started to soften a little bit more, and we just had the most amazing day at the zoo. Like the hatred, like just started washing away. I could not stand a
Yeah,
chance
that's all.
with the love. Like there's no way. So we ended up going for a walk, just the two of us after the zoo, and he apologized for everything. He was so sorry. He promised that he would go to therapy. He promised he would change. Um, and he kept telling me that he's like, this whole time, ever since you've been gone, he's like, I've never ever lost hope. I've just always had hope. And he had been telling me that throughout the time while I was gone too. I would get these text messages that he's like, I'm still hopeful. I'm hopeful. And I like mocked him a little bit. I'm like, wow, real, like he has no idea. Like we're done. He has no idea I'm filing for divorce. What do you mean? What hope? Like that's a joke. Hope is so powerful.
Hope is so powerful. Wow. So he had faith. Wow.
Yes. Yes.
And now had you gotten a divorce lawyer or you filed
Ye-
yourself? You got a
yes.
lawyer.
Divorce lawyer and everything. Yes. It was in motion and unbeknownst to him. And thank God, because he held on to that hope, it's funny. I've never really reflected on this before, but like, thank God he had no idea because to know that information, he may as well have just given up and been like, well, this is a strong-willed woman. Like, I don't stand a chance anymore. I
She's
don't know if that,
serious. Yeah,
but
she's serious about this. Yeah.
yeah.
Huh.
So we went on the walk and then he drove back. He drove back to where we live. And I was so lost that night. I had no idea what to do. I was like, do I really break up my family now? This man told me he can change. He promised me things will be different. I'm done. I think I'm done. But do I really break up my family now? Like, what if he changes and I broke up my family for nothing? I'm divorced from this man who is amazing because I know he can be. He already was, but I knew he could be. And I prayed and prayed and prayed that night. I prayed like I'd never, ever prayed before. And I prayed, like, just give me a sign. Like, show me where to go. I just need a sign. So I woke up the next morning and I had a massage scheduled that he actually scheduled a couple days prior, just all on his own. He's like, hey, I scheduled you a massage at 9 a.m. at our favorite hotel. Enjoy. And I'm like, okay, like that's hot, but like I wasn't supposed to be thinking that at the time. Like, no. So I woke up, yes, I woke up that morning so excited for my massage. I get out of bed and I'm nauseous. And I'm like, huh, okay, well, that must be a fluke. Like, there's no way I can be pregnant. It's just like, it's all the stress. It's all the stress. Like, there's no way. This is wild. No way. I'm going to this massage. So I'm driving to the massage and I'm like, wait, this is a deep tissue massage. If you're pregnant, you shouldn't have deep tissue massages in the first trimester. So just for peace of mind, like, I'm just going to get a test and then it's going to be negative and like, I'll just enjoy this massage. So I'm headed to the store to get this negative pregnancy test. And I call up my husband and I said, hey, just like, I woke up nauseous. I'm going to this massage and I'm just going to get a pregnancy test. Like, it's going to be negative. Like, don't worry. And he's like, what? Like, what? I'm like, yeah, don't worry about it. It's fine. So I get to the,
It wasn't negative, was it?
no, it wasn't negative.
Wow.
God, if I like, you couldn't ask for a clearer sign than that. And
That's
then not
fine.
before, it was the night before. I was just like, please show me the way. Show me. So I was pregnant and I called him immediately or FaceTiming. And I mean, how I just hardly have words to describe the feeling. Like, how do you explain a miracle like that? Like, we were just, I like, it's just elation, bliss, shock, just, yeah, affirmation too.
Yeah, confirmation, affirmation. You did not
Maybe
get your deep tissue massage. Just
I did not.
downtime.
I still got a massage, but I was like, hey, let me tell you this crazy story. So the lady's like, okay, we're gonna go like lighter on this one. Like, she was like the first person to tell. Like, oh, she was great. What a tale she got. But yeah, so I got this massage and I knew. I was like, wow, okay, maybe this isn't the end. This not even a maybe. I was like, this isn't the end. Like, I'm not supposed to give up on this man. We're supposed to be together. So he ended up flying up to be with me at my parents' house. I didn't because we wanted to all drive back down together. I didn't want to,
11
I
hours
asked,
by yourself? Yeah, with the
yeah,
kid? Yeah.
fly up, and we were so happy, and we just wanted to be together. So we flew up, and we had the most magical like 3 or 4 days ever. It was so beautiful. I was just like basking in his presence. I was feeling so treasured, so cherished, so adored. Like, it was honeymoon phase doesn't even like describe it. It was just the most beautiful bliss. And looking back, Laura, I realized I was actually doing all of the skills over those 3 days. Every single one. Every single one. I didn't know about them. Who's Laura Doyle? I don't know. What are the skills? What are you talking about? I was doing them all.
Awesome.
And I of course, I didn't want to criticize him. I didn't want to, I was like, fly up or don't. I left it up to him. Fly up. I would love that. I was probably even saying things like that. I would love if you would fly up. I mean, I was receiving. I was so grateful. I was vulnerable with him. Everything. I was nailing it. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was nailing it. And that's why it felt so good.
Awesome.
Oh, so we were so connected. And then we have our second wave of the battle days, which we got back home and we had those amazing days at my parents' house. And like, as soon as we got back home and opened the door, I was just filled with rage. I was so mad at him for everything that he had put me through, or so I thought. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to punish him and I'm going to make him pay. I'm going to make him suffer. Like, I always felt like we had these fights and he was explosive, but I always felt like I held back a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, he was always one to cut a little deeper. He always had to get the last word in. And I was like, you know what? No. Now's my time. I'm not holding back. You're going to know how much you hurt me. You're going to suffer. And I felt so justified in doing this. Somewhere, I don't know, somehow I thought this would bring about healing. Like I would feel validated. He would know what I went through and like that this would be healing for us. And surprise, it was not. It was not healing at all to punish your husband. Um so so that was another roller coaster. Again, up and down, up and down, up and down explosions, kind of just the same old thing. Like everything else. Same old thing. We did have a beautiful birth when the baby was born. He actually jumped in the birthing pool at home and like caught the baby. And it was so magical. And he was my absolute hero in that moment. And like I said too, when I had that confusion about like, who is this monster? Like it doesn't add up because he's tender, he's sweet, he's so loving, he's so good with our children and me at birth. I had this realization that like during birth and after like healing from birth, I was so vulnerable and I leaned on him and I needed him. So we've had 3 babies at this point and we were always so connected and so good after these babies were born. But then as soon as I healed from birth, I could be Superwoman again. And I could, yeah, I could do, I didn't need him as much. I didn't have to rely on him.
Mm.
So yeah, so the roller coaster. And then at this point too, I'm just like, I was just so confused. I'm like, we got our miracle. We should be good. I thought we were saved. Like, how is this still happening? Like, I got such a clear sign that we are supposed to be together. This should just work. But I didn't realize at the time, but no real transformation had happened. So we were just repeating the same pattern over and over and over.
Yeah. Having these big fights.
Yes.
So it's a tense household. This is stressful for the whole family at this point.
Oh, completely. Completely. And I was so embarrassed too, because I didn't want to tell people like we're still fighting, And I remember even my best friend that I had been so open with, I maybe told her a little bit sometimes, but I didn't tell her like it was bad again. I was like,
No.
we're supposed to be good now. So I really hid that.
That's a secret. Yeah. You don't want anyone to know that. I totally get that. Yeah. Gotta make it look good. Yeah. Yeah.
So
So what happened?
then the night after Valentine's Day of this year, I get a text at midnight from my best friend. And she's like, hey, I found this podcast and it's amazing. It talks about saving marriages and how wives are actually really disrespectful, but they don't even realize they're doing it. She talks about putting duct tape on your mouth and like you just have to listen. And I'm like, okay, duct tape sounds cute. Like
that doesn't sound good at all, does it? I mean,
I'm like, okay, but she has so much wisdom. I'm like, okay, I trust you. Like, I know you're going to share good stuff with me. So let me give it a listen. So I binged the podcast that night. I was like, oh my God, like I have struck gold. My eyes were open. My heart was blasted open and my body was filled with hope for the first time in so long. And I knew it. I'm like, this is the way. This is it. Like, we're going to be okay. Like, I can get off this roller coaster. We're going to be okay.
wow. That must have felt amazing.
Oh, just the
like a relief.
Absolutely. So, she and I actually had plans to take our children to the movies the next day. When we get to the movies and forget Paddington, we're just like chatting all about the podcast and sharing all of our epiphanies. And I mean, we're on fire. Like, what have we found? We could not talk fast enough. And so we're just obsessed. And she's like, oh, so her husband dropped her off at the movies. And she's like, oh, I actually expressed a desire to my husband before we got out of the car. I said, I'd love a clean car. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We walk out of the movie theater. He comes to pick her up. The car is still dripping wet, sparkling. And I'm like, wait a second. What? Like, wait, what? What do you mean? You just said you love a clean car and then you got a clean car. Like, I mean, just to see it firsthand, like that quick, I'm like, okay, let me get on this. I gotta try something. So I got home that evening and my husband he works a lot on the weekends. So he had worked a double that day. I hadn't seen him. So since I discovered this podcast at midnight, I hadn't seen him. I had not had a chance to like try anything. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just send him a text. So, he had really struggled with drinking. Like I said in the beginning, like out late partying, entertainment industry, huge struggles with alcohol. And he'd tried to quit a couple times, but like kept going back to it. But after our baby was born, our third baby, he quit drinking for good. And at this point, he was almost 2 years sober. So I texted him and he was at work that night. He had a show at a brewery. And I texted him. I said, hey, I just wanted to tell you, I think you're so brave and badass for being sober at a brewery. I admire you so much. And he texted back like moments later. He said, you're the sweetest, best thing in the world. And it just melted me. I'm like, oh, I don't know the last time he's called me sweet. And just a text, I hadn't even seen it. I'm like, wow, okay. Like the energy immediately shifted and I'm like, this is magical. This is profound. So I was so excited to see him. So the next day, we were in the kitchen. I was sitting on the kitchen countertop. We hadn't seen each other, like I said, in like a day and a half. And he's just telling me all about his weekend. And I'm like, okay, let me try this duct tape thing. So I imagine a piece of duct tape over my mouth and I just let the man talk. And I'm sitting there on the counter listening. And I have this moment where I'm like, oh my God, he's so beautiful. Guy was just like that moment of when we fell in love and all of that was coming back. Like, wow. Like I was just admiring his beauty. I felt so special that he was like talking to me and telling me and just truly just basking in his presence. And I also had like the internal space was like trying to interrupt, trying to give advice, trying to like interject. I mean, thank God the imaginary duct tape was on because it was stopping so much from coming out. And I was like, all right, like I just couldn't believe myself. I was like, this is how you communicated with this man? I wouldn't let him talk. And it was like, I really had to like keep those words in my mouth for a long time. But I was successful. I did it. I just stayed quiet and I listened. And I felt so connected to him. And then I had this realization. I'm like, duct tape creates presence. More presence than any breathwork session, yoga, meditation. And I love all of those things. But I've worked on being present. And it did it better than any of those ever did for me. And I was just like, this is amazing. This is amazing. Who knew that shutting up, I could be so happy?
I love this story. Yeah, it made me cry. Like, beautiful. Just from listening to him. You created this intimacy.
Yes, that's exactly what it was. And it was funny too because our conversations were never really that long. Like I just obviously because I shut him down or I had all these things I needed to say. So to really sit there quietly and like let him speak, I mean, it felt like wow, like he's really talking to me. He's really letting me in. And it was just such a beautiful experience. So after the duct tape, and after the text, and after seeing my friend's sparkling car, I'm like, you know what? We're going all in. We're going all in. I'm not gonna experiment. I'm going to practice every single skill now. So yeah, yeah. Like let's go. Let's go. I've waited long enough.
Can you even do that? I'll be curious. Okay, yeah. So you're going to do every skill now. Okay.
Let's go. So I got The Empowered Wife on Audible. I take lots of walks and listen to this. And my best friend who showed me the podcast, she and I were constantly in cahoots, sharing wins, calling each other to vent if there was something going on. And we were always like opening each other's eyes to our blind spots, and we always a lot of girl friendships that I've had, you validate each other. You're like, oh yeah, you're right. You're perfect. He's an ass. Like, yeah, you didn't do anything wrong, and just validate each other to no end. And we stopped doing that. So um, we agreed to never speak poorly of each other's husbands. And we also made a pact that we would be team the other person's husband. It's not that we weren't on each other's team, but like, he needs someone in his court. So I'm going to be that person for him. And that was beyond valuable. I mean, I couldn't have done. It's been 6 months now since I found the skills, and I think I would have given up without her, or at least not be where I am right now, because having that support when you're when you're learning a new language is imperative.
Yeah, it is a lot like learning a new language. And it's incredible what you guys did. I think it's a courageous thing to do. It's a vulnerable thing to do, to say, like, I'm going to stand for your husband just as much as I'm standing for you, because really you two are inseparable anyway, right? There's not any daylight between you. So how can she, if she's tearing down your husband, even if it's to do, to commiserate, to bond, it's super expensive for your marriage.
So true.
And you guys just don't do that. You just said, never again. We're not doing that.
Nope.
I respect the man you married. I love you. I respect the man you married. So that's how we're doing this. And this has brought you to where you are now. Okay. So, all right. And so you're trying all the skills. So what else? What other skills did you try?
So, I remember, during one of the fights, I don't know if I mentioned, but I remember one of our fights, he said, I just need you to respect me. And I had this like visceral reaction. I was like, respect? Ugh. Like, I was like, you're not my dad. You're not my elder. I'm not going to obey you. I'm not going to do what you say. Like, I was just disgusted that he would use the word respect.
Yeah.
And it did not click. And then I'm reading your book and I'm like, oh, wow, I actually had the total wrong definition of respect. And it's not about obeying, and it's not only for elders or only for your dad. It's to admire someone and to see their capabilities, see them as capable. And I was like, that's what he needs. That's what he needs. I was so wrong. I was just so wrong. So we were picking my son up from school one day, and we're in the car line. And so the skills I was working on was vulnerability. I was like, okay, I'm going through this process. Like, I need to share with him, because I'd become a very closed book. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to share with him what I learned about respect. And so we're in the car line, and I said, hey, I've had so many epiphanies lately. And I had this light bulb moment. I realized I didn't know what respect meant. And I shared with him what I used to think about it when he said it, and now the definition. And he's like, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. Like, and then I apologized to him. I said, I apologized for all of the times I've been disrespectful in our relationship, and how much I've contributed to all of the pain in the past that we've gone through. And like, I see that now. I never saw it before, and I see that now. And I was just crying in the front seat, apologizing and crying. And he like puts his hand on my cheek, and he's just like, oh, like, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. He's like, it's okay. It's okay. And he was just so tender, and I'm crying.
Oh, he hates when you cry.
He was
hates when you cry. He didn't hate it.
tender with me. Oh my gosh. Like, So it's just wild because your heart is just blasted open as you're practicing these things. And then your mind is also blown. Like it's just so much to process, but it's so beautiful. And yeah. So I'm like, and then he's like, he wouldn't let me take the blame. He's like, no, no, like, please, it's not all your fault. Like I contributed. He's always been so accountable, so apologetic. And he's like, please, he couldn't bear to see me trying to like take all of the blame.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so tender. So
So
loving.
10. So, so that was the car line. And yes, the respect. And, oh, so you had asked if we ever were going to marriage counseling. And we said it for years and years and years. Like we should probably go. That would be a good thing. And he ended up seeing a therapist, like he said he would. So whenever we came back and we were back together, he did go see the therapist, like he said he would. And he kept saying, like, "Hey, my therapist would love to have a session with both of us and just give us some pointers on how to communicate." And I'm like, okay, like I'm open to that. So I remember like one of our worst fights before I found the skills. I threw it in his face. I'm like, what about that marriage counseling appointment? Weren't you going to schedule that? Like, why, how have we not done that yet? It's your therapist. You want me to go, right? And he's like, you're too mean.
Oh,
And that before I found you, I just thought like, I'm mean. Like, it's you. It's you. I'm perfect. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. What do you mean I'm mean? Oh, um, so before we found you and like it had gotten bad again, he did make that marriage counseling appointment. And it fell exactly 1 week after I discovered your podcast. 1 week. So I joked with my friend. I was like, oh my gosh, because we were so good. I mean, it had been 1 week of practicing the skills. We were so good. I remember he said too, I was in our breeze way, just reading a book and smiling when he walked in. And he's like, you're just so floaty. He's like, I'm like, what? He's like, like, you just being in a perfect mood all the time makes me realize what an asshole I am. And I was just shocked. Like, what do you mean? I just put myself in a good mood. And then he realizes that he's a jerk sometimes. Like, what? I don't have to tell him. I don't have to spell it out for him. I
did
don't
she
have
feel
to.
so smug? Or she like to
Oh,
like,
completely. Oh my gosh. Like, as if I wasn't already smiling so much. I'm just like, okay, I'm not wiping this thing off now. Like,
oh.
yes. Like, okay, I'll stay floaty. I'll stay happy. Sure. Twist my arm. So, oh, yeah, that was so rewarding to hear.
Yes, rewarding. Oh.
So, this counseling appointment, I mean, it had been a week for the books. So much had transformed in 1 week. And we had this counseling appointment coming up. I obviously thought, like, okay, this is ridiculous. We can just cancel this thing. Like, who needs it? We're fine. We're going to be fine. But he wanted to go. I didn't say that because we just made the plan prior. I was like, okay, you know what? I can handle one appointment.
Yeah.
It's going to be fine. So I joked with my friend about it. And I'm like, we have this counseling appointment coming up. Like, dare me to sit on his lap? Like, wouldn't that be so funny?
Very girl of fun and light.
Yes. Yes. So, because we were just so good, I'm like, okay, let's go. So we get to the counseling appointment. He sits down in the waiting room. I walk in and he pats his thigh for me to sit on his lap.
Oh my gosh, you're the only couple in the marriage counselor's waiting rooms sitting on his lap. I bet.
And that was like not something we ever really did. Like, I mean, we've been affectionate and stuff, but like sitting on his lap in public is not something I ever really did. So I just was like just dying laughing, like the fact that I joked about it. And then he does it. So we get to the appointment with his therapist, and we sit down. There's a couch We sit down and he sits right next to me. He grabs my hand, holds it
Maybe there
through the
wasn't much room on the couch, right? You just had to sit right
yeah,
together.
yeah.
Okay.
Not even a love seat, Laura. This was like a full-blown couch. Like he had plenty of options of cushions.
Couldn't get close enough to you.
He couldn't. Oh, so he sits right next to me, holds my hand, doesn't let go the entire appointment, which was such a wonderful waste of time.
Love it.
And his therapist actually at the beginning of the appointment says, okay, guys, let's rate your marriage. He asked me, what would you rate it today? And I said, I wanted to say 10, but I didn't want to sound completely like I really wanted to say 10. Maybe, I don't know, but I held back. I was like, 8.5. I just didn't want my husband to think it was like a total waste of time, you know?
Yeah. So
I'm like, okay, 8.5. And then he asks my husband and he says, 8. Yeah. Like, what? What are we doing here?
What are you doing there?
What are we doing here? So that was fun. And then we never went back. There's no need for any other appointment. No need for that one either. But it was nice to snuggle for a bit. And yeah, so we had the counseling appointment came up, and I was he started, like I said, he was holding my hand again, and he was being affectionate again, which had been gone for so long. I just remember forcing the affection so much. I just wanted to be hugged. I just wanted to be kissed, and I'm like, I remember like asking for that, or like, you don't kiss me enough, criticizing so much about the lack of affection. And I remember before too, like I would go to hug him and, like I'm giving him a hug and he'd be standing there with his hands at his sides. And I'd be like, hug me with both hands. Like he didn't, I don't blame him. He didn't want to hug me. It's okay. Like,
yeah.
yeah.
He's just doing it because he should. Yeah.
Yes.
Feels awful. Feels like rejection. It's painful.
Completely. So oh my gosh, just started like throwing me over his shoulder out of the blue. And I mean, slapping my butt and kissing me. And I mean, I just like bear hugs, Laura, like just these bear hugs, the best hug you could ever get. And I'm like, wait a minute. I used to ask him to hug me with both hands. And like, this is what I get now. Like, it's just absolutely bewildering. You're like, what? It's this good? It's this good? So I was, like I said, jumped into all the skills, and I really, really, I wanted to express my gratitude. I realized I'd taken him for granted for so long. He does so much for our family, has always provided. So I really wanted to start expressing gratitude more. So I mean, a lot of gratitude was coming out of me. I was telling him when I would see him, I would text him at night when he was at work, thank you for all that you do for our family. Gratitude. And then I was also like, okay, I love the spouse fulfilling prophecies. Like, let me just sprinkle these around throughout the day. This is great. Like, I just get to like build him up and, and he couldn't handle it. He couldn't handle it. And I was getting these like reactions from him where he's just like stop, like please, like he couldn't handle it, and I couldn't figure it out. I'm like, okay, it's gratitude, like more must be better, so I should probably do more, right? And then it'll click. But I kept having these like weird reactions. He couldn't handle it. And I was actually listening to a podcast, or my friend caught it. My best friend, we were on the stream together, she caught it, and she's like, hey, there's this podcast, and the woman's talking about how her husband couldn't handle, it was like this quick like gem, he couldn't handle the gratitude so much. Like it wasn't working well. Like, so she had to like back off a little bit with it until he was ready for it. And I was like, oh, I never would have thought of that. Like, more is more, when it comes to gratitude and love. So never would have thought of that. So I did. I backed off. Instead of speaking the gratitude to him and the SPFs or SFPs to him, I started writing them down. So every morning I'd write my desires, and then I would write gratitudes for him in my journal, and I would write SFPs, spouse fulfilling prophecies for him in my journal. And I would feel the gratitude. So I couldn't tell him at the moment, but I'd feel it. And then I'd write the SFPs, and I would go back through and find proof for each one.
Oh.
And I realized too, and things started changing. And it's beautiful to share all of that with your husband, of course, but it's so important that you feel it, that I feel it, that I believe it. These SFPs aren't something I need to convince him of. This is a belief that I hold that is unshakable about him. And I invite him to see the light.
Okay, wisdom bomb right there. Boop. Like everybody rewind, listen to that again. That was so good. Okay, so your spouse fulfilling prophecies, and they were stretches, it felt like sometimes, right? It didn't feel like an obvious, like he is this way. Like you were saying things that maybe felt inauthentic even.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yes. You're so safe. You're so safe. I can tell you anything at any time, and that was obviously to create that feeling of safety within me, that there weren't going to be explosions anymore, that he was safe person for me. And
You
he
didn't
would
need to
just
walk the
combat
trail.
things. Like, he's like, what do you mean? I don't know if he combated that one, but I I wish I remembered more of them, because I kind of, like I said, I kind of backed off. And the gratitude, he really, like I said, he was like, why are you thanking me for, like, no, please. Like, he just couldn't handle it. And I think too, like, I shamed him for so long. His self-worth was just in the dirt. So it's like to have someone who's been criticizing you and just bringing you down for years and years and years, all of a sudden lift you up. It's like, maybe that felt a little suspicious. I don't know. So
Well, it's like if you're dehydrated in the desert, they can't give you a whole glass of water at once, right? You have to do a little bit at a time until, okay.
the perfect analogy. Yes. So like I said, I backed off. And then I remember one day we'd had an amazing morning in bed. And I was like, I just said, like, wow, like you're just an amazing lover. I was like, I can't hold this one back. I just have to tell the man. And he said, well, you married a man who does things right.
Oh.
So then I kept going and I kept complimenting a few more. And then I stopped and he said, okay, go on. Go on.
So his tolerance went up for gratitude. Awesome. So you kind of got to see that light coming back on in him, that self-confidence.
Yes, completely. Oh, completely. It was such an amazing moment. And then the realization too of like, if I back off, if I just let it go, and I'm not so tightly gripped, like I was like, must tell him so many gratitudes, must sprinkle SFPs everywhere. Like I just had this kind of like a tight grip on it. And I was like, let me just release it. And the moment I release and I become relaxed and surrendered, then poof, like,
you're all good. That's where the magic was.
That's it. Exactly.
Okay. Wow, I love that. So you actually had you were doing gratitude with some control, it sounds like, with a expectation about the outcome. And it was not landing on him very well. But as soon as you were and it sounds like it was just so authentic. Like, I have to tell you what an amazing lover you are. And he was like, okay, that I can take, that I can receive.
Yes.
And yeah.
That's totally it. It wasn't like this calculated like thing on my to-do list where it's like must express gratitude today. Like this urgent thing. It was just so like spur of the moment, so authentic, like you said. Yeah. And that's what he could receive it then. That's totally it.
I love that you did the discipline of like writing it in your journal every day too, because then it was on your own. It was literally on your own paper, right? It was in your mind, and you were experiencing. It was changing your heart, that gratitude, and then it came out spontaneously, and that was fire.
Completely.
So,
Completely. Yeah. Yes.
Great job. Great job. Love that.
Oh, Thank you. So yeah, the morning, I really got like a beautiful morning routine going. The self-care is imperative. Like it was just, oh, it just lifted me up every single day and filled me with just so much energy and love. And yeah, so I was writing my desires, writing gratitudes, pleasure planning as well. I got this planner where it's like has the little squares for the calendar and like no more to-do list. No, like what am I going to do that I love today? And like that was the to-do list. So to be like dance, take a walk, listen to the podcast, girl talk. I mean, and focusing on that at the beginning of the day instead of this feeling of getting bogged down of like, what do I have to do? And it's this like stressful start to the day. It's like, what's going to light me up? That's what I'm going to do today. Everything else gets done. Everything else gets done.
What do I get to do today? Yeah, that's a good
Yes,
way
I
to look
love
at it.
that. Oh, my family, they used to get so annoyed with me. Like, do we have to? Like, you don't have to, you get to. That's like such a joke at our house. It's funny you said that. Oh, so yeah, really tuning in with myself every single morning, connecting with my heart and doing what lights me up. And then I realized too, so I was spending a lot of time doing self-care, but it expanded time. Like you say, it will. And it's true. It does. I used to spend so much time like focus on the house, focus on the laundry, the dishes, everything, and just putting myself absolutely last. And now that I put myself first, all of those things still get done. And my children still get so much attention, so much love. And even though, like, I used to have this guilt as a mother, I can't take care of myself because I'm supposed to be with them. I need to take care of them instead. And now I go and I light myself up and I come back to them just overflowing. And I realized, like, it's not about this quantity of time you spend, it's the quality of your presence. And I'm just such a fun mom now. I'm so playful. We just laugh. Like and I just attribute so much of that to self-care. And like, you just really gave me permission too, the permission to do that, to take care of yourself. Yeah, the guilt just started to fade away. And um, my favorite thing, I love to dance. I just really reconnected with dancing. So I take myself into the yard, barefoot in the grass, under the trees, blast my music, grab my hula hoop, and just dance like no one was watching. And I didn't even care if anyone was. I felt so free. And as I was dancing, like I just shook off the old me. She,
Mm,
she she was gone. She's
she
so
left.
gone. And she left, and the dancing was so liberating, and it helped me release the old me. It helped me release the past. And it felt so important to me. Is like the dancing helped me integrate what I was learning and like really just feel so embodied and
Wow.
beautiful. Yeah, it feels so beautiful when I dance and free and fun. And so the self-care is, oh, it's just been amazing. I feel like I used to be the acts of service queen. I don't think I really even went into this part in the battle days, but before the ambulance story, is it okay to like go back in time? Can I shoot back for
Sure.
a
Yeah.
sec?
Yeah.
Before the ambulance moment happened, when we were like low, and I was like, we're disconnected, this is bad, I doubled down on acts of service for him. So I'd already kind of naturally just like done things for him.
Like buying his underwear?
Yeah, buying his underwear, making his coffee every morning. Oh, I'll get the trash out of your car. Let me lighten his load, that type of thing. I just want to make him happy. I just want to make him happy. And now I'm the self-care queen now, not the acts of service queen anymore. Like I'm making me happy. And he loves it. He's happy because I'm happy. Like who knew?
He would rather have trash in his car, and you're dancing with the hula hoop.
Absolutely. Completely. So yeah, it's just been so beautiful. And I want to mention too that it has not been a linear experience. Like I found the skills and things immediately got better. I remember that first week I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is bliss." Like I and and I'm so thankful for that week because it filled me with hope. Like I just knew that this was the way, but I stumbled and I messed up. Um, and I always felt like we'd have a fight, not like, I think we had a few blow ups, but I would be so discouraged. I'd be like, oh my gosh, it just took 1,000 steps backwards. All of this work for nothing. And I just, I wasn't seeing the gray. It felt very black and white for me. And then we'd be okay. Like we'd really be okay. And it wouldn't take that long to be okay again. And the intimacy would come back. And like, I was like, wait a minute. Okay. I didn't go 1,000 steps backwards. This is okay. And yeah, so it is not a linear process at all. Um,
So
and
you said have some like emotional safety in the bank, it sounds like.
Yeah, that's such a good way of putting it. Completely. Completely. It was this Father's Day, actually. I'd asked him the day before Father's Day. My mistake. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
I asked him, what do you want to do? And he said, I don't know. And I was like, okay. So we woke up the next morning and we're in the kitchen and a fight started brewing. He's like, what are we doing today? And I'm like, I don't know. I asked you what you wanted to do. And I don't know. And the tension started to rise and he's like, oh, he's disappointed. He's like, I really wanted to be surprised. And I was like, well, you didn't tell me that. Like, how am I supposed to know? And, it just started escalating. But I didn't want the day to be ruined. And we ended up, I wouldn't call it an explosion, but we fought. And then he retreated and he went to a room. He went off. And I was like, okay, it's Father's Day. I want this day to be good. Like, how do I feel? What do I want? I felt upset that we'd started off on a wrong note. And I was like, I want this day to be good. I love him so much. I want to make this a great day for him. So I texted my friend, vented a little bit, and she's like, remember your power. Like, the day's not over yet. She's like, it's only noon. You can turn this around. Like, remember your power. So she's like, just promise me you'll dance. Promise me you'll dance. I'm like, okay. So I did. So we had this fight and and the pattern was escalation. The pattern was like, oh, the day's ruined. Forget it. Like, forget it. We'll try again tomorrow. And I'm like, no, not this time. I have a wand now. So he was retreated. He was off in a room. And I just danced. I have like this like wonderful like little closet area. It's got a window. It's great. It's my little space. And I just put on a song and I just danced and danced and danced. And then I was like, okay. So I went to where he was. And of course, the pattern of she's chasing me. Here we go. It's going to escalate. But I flipped the script and I walked in. He's laying there. And I walked in and gave him a sexy little surprise. And he's like, do I deserve this? Like, what is happening? He was like, just shocked. Like, what? We're not fighting. We're not like, what's happening? And I'm like, yes, of course you do. Like, of course you deserve this. I want to have a great day. And like, I was like, you said you wanted surprises. So here you go.
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
So we turned the day around completely. I was like, okay, like put your swim trunks on, mister. Like more surprises for you. So we are nature lovers. He loves to kayak. So we got in the car and I'm like, go here, and we went to this park and we rented kayaks with our boys. We kayaked all around for the afternoon and then got back in the car. And the thing too is like realizing like, okay, first of all, I have so much power to turn this day around. This day is not doomed. I have the power. And then also like focusing on what I want. Cause he didn't know. He's like, I want to be surprised, but he didn't know. He needs my North Star. So I'm like, what's going to light me up? What's going to make me happy? It's Father's Day, but like, I still get to be happy. We still get to do what I want. What? Like, mind blowing to me. And so we got done kayaking, had so much fun. I love the water. So it was just, it was an amazing time. And we got in the car and like I wasn't ready to go home yet. And there was this new dessert place that I've been wanting to try. So I was like, okay, drive this way, and then turn here. And then like, ta-da, here we are. And like we got these amazing desserts and just had such a fun, beautiful day.
Gosh. Woo! Happy Father's Day. Wife's
Happy
Pascal.
Father's Day.
That's awesome. Way to turn it around and remember your power. And you promised your best friend you would dance. And it all just came
Yes.
together. So good. What a great
Oh,
story. Love it.
oh, thank you. Yeah, you apparently get a happy Father's Day when you have a happy wife.
Yeah. Yeah. You being happy. This is Happy Father's Day.
Yes,
Yeah.
completely.
Totally makes sense.
So, yeah, that was just an amazing day too, and it gave me so much confidence. Like, okay, if things go south, like I can fix this. Like, I don't need him. I don't have to chase him down. I don't need him to fix this. And I'm sure that's what he thought when I went in there. Um, but I don't need that. Like, I can do this. I have so much power.
In the old days, you would have been stuck. You both would have been stuck. You would have been waiting for him to fix it. And he would have been like, I don't know how to fix this. And
Yep.
that would,
Cue the talking in circles for hours and like just, well, yeah, waste of a day.
yeah. So you could have had that kind of day, but instead you had kayaking and desserts and sexy
Yep.
surprises. So love it. Great job, Britt. Amazing.
Oh, thank
So
you.
yeah, this is incredible. I mean, yeah. So what is your marriage like now?
It's life-giving. It's completely transformed. I mean, I've always loved him, even when I tried to hate him. I've always loved him, and we've always like, there have been moments of connection throughout time, but I never knew when it would go away. And now like, it's so solid. I'm like, we're so connected. We're such a functional team. We have 3 children, like I've said, and he does school drop off every morning, drops my eldest off. Then he takes our 4 and 2-year-old to the park every morning, and I go to the beach. I go
Good
to the
mommy
beach
time.
and
Wow.
oh, and I swim and I just play and I dream and I write and oh my gosh, I mean, this morning I went out there and I pulled up and there's dolphins and I'm just like, this is my life. This is my life. Like, I have 3 young kids and like, I get this. I don't have to sacrifice. I don't have to suffer. It doesn't have to be so hard. Like, can be easy. And that's actually been one of my favorite SFPs for him because like I said, he's always been so accountable. And so throughout all these years, he just apologized. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for making your life so hard. I'm so sorry for all my bullshit. He's just sorry. And so one of my favorite SFPs, I say, you make my life so easy.
Oh, sweet. I bet he loves that.
Yeah. And it's so true. Oh my gosh. Like, it's just, and yeah, he's got the kids right now. He's doing school pickup. He's got the toddlers. He's all the time I need for this podcast. He's been so supportive. And, yeah. And, he actually said to me, I guess a couple weeks ago, just out of the blue, we're chatting and he's like, I don't explode anymore. I said, oh, why? Like, you do, oh, okay. Like, I'm like, oh, well, why not? And he's like, I just decided not to.
That's cool. He's put all
And
that
I'm like,
stuff now.
okay, like, yeah, you keep that. That's all you, baby. Like, yeah.
All right, but right here, you and me, I'm giving you all the credit for that. Like, this is you bringing out his best, right? Instead of maybe provoking.
Yep, provoking, exactly. And even when we have like I said, it's not linear. There's still these little moments. So I remember we had this little tiff on the way to the grocery store one day. We had the 3 kids in the back. His family was in town from across the world, and like, he wanted to be with, I don't know, just a whole thing, just a little tiff. And he was just frustrated in the moment. And we're on the way to the grocery store, and he was frustrated about it, and I kind of snapped back, and he called me a brat. And I sat in this, and I haven't mastered ouch yet. But I did get quiet. So I think that's, you know what, even though I didn't say ouch, I think I was quiet,
Just as good.
which it was impactful. And so we pull up to the grocery store, and he's like, "Are you coming?" And I'm like, "Okay, yeah, like I'll come." So I get out of the car, we go into the grocery store, walk in, and there's flowers right there. And I peek over, and I just peek. I didn't say a word. I peeked, and I'm like those are so pretty. And didn't say a thing. Walking through the store, I turn around, and he has a bouquet of hot pink carnations. And he says, "I'm sorry for calling you a brat."
Oh, tiff over.
I I did not set those flowers down. I just carried those around the store. Those were my trophy. Like I was
Oh
like,
my
"What?"
gosh.
And I'm like I said, I'm like, my mind is just so blown when these things happen because I'm like, he called me a brat. Like, it's not nice, but the words he had called me in the past. I
Way
mean,
worse than that.
yeah, I had convinced the man that he was emotionally and verbally abusive. Oh my God, back in the day, I bought him a book called How Not to Be an Ass.
Did
What?
that work?
I'm like, no, 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 none of that worked. None of it worked. Nope. That book went up in flames. My choice, actually. I was like, this was a bad idea. No, no, no. And now I'm quiet. I may not have mastered ouch, but I stay quiet. And he
Yeah.
like, I'm just amazed at his conscience. I'll never get over that because I just tried so hard to explain myself to death. I mean, hours and hours of explaining to him, you hurt me. This is why. This is how I feel. And like, if I'm just quiet, he'll get there himself so quickly. And the apology is so much better than anything I could have ever forced out of him. And I get hot pink carnations that sit on the table and just remind me like of how far we've come.
It is awesome. Great job.
Oh,
How do
thank
you
you.
how has this affected your kids, the 3 kids?
Oh, well, we we went on a trip this summer. We stayed with my parents in a cabin in the Smoky Mountains, and we actually renewed our vows up there too. It was so beautiful.
Oh,
Such, oh my gosh. We did like, they had like a self-timer photo shoot, and I'll just cherish those photos forever. It was like just the most magical, deepest, oh, so beautiful. But up on this trip, I was sitting on the porch with my son and my mom, my eldest, who's 9. And out of the blue, he just goes, "You and Daddy haven't argued once this trip."
what's with these little kids saying all these crazy wise things, huh?
I know. I know. And I'm just like, "You're right. You're right. We haven't been getting along these days, huh?" And oh, it's just so, I just feel like I've barely scratched the surface. There's so much more too, because I just intruded on his parenting, and now he gets to be a dad. Like my kids get their dad back. And I stepped on his toes. Always, always. I was just so critical. And now like I just sit back and like let him father. And it's beautiful to watch. He's so good at it. So, I mean, our kids now live in a peaceful home. There's so much laughter. Like, it's just, it's so beautiful. And yeah, I just like their bond with their dad is just so strong. And it's the best to witness.
And this is the same guy that you didn't feel like you were safe with or that they were safe with. Now he's like this awesome
Yeah.
dad. And I give you all
Yeah.
the credit for being an awesome
Oh,
wife, for bringing that out in him.
oh,
So
it's him. And I want to say too, like he has always been an amazing dad. He's always been so tender with them. Such a great present, hands-on dad, just full of love for his children. Such a family man. And he's a musician too. And people are like, how do you do it? How are you a musician and a family man? And he can just wear all of the hats and he makes it happen. He just shows up for us. He's amazing. And I also want to say too, with affecting my kids, I realize with the self-care, I wanted to say that I really, really focus on my self-care, like I said, and it just gives me so much. But so I put a list on the wall in my little closet room. I put a list on the wall of all my favorite self-care things that just make me smile. I have that list that I reference if I need it. I don't need it much, but it's still there. And then I was inspired to write a list of self-care ideas to do with my children. So when I was pleasure planning every day and I write my self-care things, I try to include one thing that I'm going to do with my kids that day. And it's things like that make me so happy and to do with them. So it's like bubbles or hide and seek. Like I just feel like such a little kid when I'm hiding and waiting for them to find me. I'm just giggling and that's how I get found. And karaoke on the couch, Mario Kart, just like things that are so fun that we get to do together. And yeah, my kids just they've always had an amazing dad, and now they just get a really happy mom.
So good. Love that. Incredible. Okay, so what is your tip though for somebody who is where you were? Maybe she's like taken the kids and left and she's filed for divorce and she thinks he's a monster. She's got verbal, emotional, maybe physical abuse too. And he wants what you have now, where he buys her pink carnations because he called her a brat. And there's there's all this connection and love and intimacy that you've created. Safety.
Oh, safety. Yes. Uh,
What should
I
she
would say
do?
to her, I would say to her, you are exactly where you need to be. You've gone through everything to get to this point, and you're in the right place at the right time. You're listening to this, so you have found gold. You've found gold. You've found the key, and just stay the course. Like I said earlier, this journey, learning this is like learning a new language. So you have to really immerse yourself. So just get into it, absorb it, immerse yourself every day in it, and things will start to change. And it takes effort and it takes energy and it takes focus, but it gives back a millionfold.
That's awesome. That
That's
sounds
your about.
great. So, and what would you say if you could go back in time and talk to B and tell her what you know now?
Oh, wait, I have one more thing I want to tell her. Can I tell her one more thing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Start a miracle journal. So you're on the journey now. As you're going, start a miracle journal. Write down the big ones, write down the small ones, especially the small ones. Because as you go on, so much happens, so much changes. You're just on like this accelerated path of healing and growth and transformation. And so much happens that you may forget the hot pink carnations. You may forget those little things and you write those down. And then, like I said, it's not linear. So if you get to a point where you're like, I'm giving up, this isn't working, crack open your precious little miracle journal. Read those. You don't have to put effort. You don't have to. I love writing the gratitude list too. That is amazing to focus on what your gratitudes for your husband when you're not feeling that towards him. But you don't have to put effort in this miracle journal. You just read what's already happened. The proof is right in front of you. And yeah, I just think this journey, this path, like there are so many flowers that bloom along the way. And I mean, it's so easy to remember the vow renewal and the counseling appointment and these big blossoms that, these sunflowers along the way, but write down the forget-me-nots. They're important too.
Oh, such a great tip. I love it. Yeah, what you focus on increases too, right? There's a great way to focus on the experience you want to have, which I love. Okay, so now what are you telling B if you go back in time?
I would tell her that people are not happier after divorce. I would tell her that the grass is not greener on the other side. You have these dreams of what life is going to be like after your divorce. He'll be gone. You'll finally be happy. You'll finally be free. And that's not true. People are not happier after divorce. So whatever you're dreaming about, like whatever things you're going to do when you're divorced, just do them now. Just do them now. Like, oh, because I would think when I'm divorced, I'll spend my time at the beach. I'll go swimming. I'll be having so much fun. I'll be so lit up. But a woman once told me through a book that happy people have happy relationships. Laura Doyle. And if you make yourself happy, which is your job, your power, your responsibility, really, to make yourself happy, all of your relationships will improve. All of your relationships will improve.
You have to eat your dessert first to have a happy relationship.
Yes. Love it.
I love it. Okay, what a great tip. Well, this has been amazing. Your story is so inspiring, so moving. I laughed, I cried. I just want to congratulate you on saving your family. This is incredible. Like 5 people's lives, right, are totally affected and transformed forever because of your courage, your commitment, committing to not putting down each other's husbands with your bestie, processing with her and, promising to dance and then dancing, and then figuring out how you felt and what you wanted on Father's Day. So your story is incredible. And, I just want to congratulate you, by giving you my Best Wife Award.
Thank you, Laura. Oh my gosh. Wow. Thank you. I've listened to so many podcasts. So it's just so surreal to be here. And if you would have told me 6 months ago, 3 months ago, 2 months ago that I would be on the podcast right now, because I've had this dream, like since I was on the podcast, I told my friend, like, you know what? That's going to be us one day. We're going to be on there. I'm like, maybe in 3 years, like this is going to be far off in the distance. This is a far dream. And then one day she's like, let's apply. Let's do it. And here I am. And I am blown away at what can happen in such a short amount of time. And healing can be quick. Healing is simple. And it's right here.
Awesome. Such wise words, such inspiring words. Congratulations. It's a miracle. Really a miracle.
Absolutely.
Wow. Love it. Well, thank you so much. If you want all the tips, tricks, and traps about how to use a spouse-fulfilling prophecy in your situation, you can get that in my group coaching program. So for more on that, get my free Adored Wife Roadmap and the link below this video. Now, this takes some courage to do, but if you're feeling brave, you can do it tonight. So are you ready to try a spouse-fulfilling prophecy? Okay, then go, go, go. For more of the proven secrets on how to make your marriage playful and passionate without his conscious effort, check this out.